The Fox Theater in Detroit was the flagship theater for William Fox's theater chain. At the time it opened in 1928, the Fox Film Corporation had only recently shot up to prominence due to its risky experimentation with sound film and talkies. But its successful use of the Movietone sound-on-film process paid off. The Fox Theater opened on September 21, 1928, and its premiere feature was Street Angel, starring Janet Gaynor, which was a sound film but not a talkie because it had a Movietone soundtrack but not spoken dialogue. The theme of the theater was that of a Hindu temple, one of the many exotic themes used in these kinds of movie palaces, but I'll show more photos of those a little bit later in this video. Unfortunately for William Fox, he would get in a serious car accident in 1929, then lost most of his money after the stock market crash later that same year. And by 1930, he had lost his business entirely when it was taken from him. But for that short time in the transition from silent to sound films and talkies, William Fox had been on top of the world. As a reminder of this triumphant period of Fox in the talkie revolution, the Fox Theater is still standing and currently hosts concerts and musicals, and has showings of older movies, though it seems that they don't often show movies from the early sound film and talkie era. Of all the 1920s movie palaces still standing, the Fox Theater is the largest, with a seating capacity of 5,000. With that background information out of the way, I have two articles from motion picture industry magazines about the Fox Theater that I would like to share. The first is a short blurb about the initial construction, and the second shows more of the architectural design on the inside. So, without further ado, let's go to Detroit. Picture record of building progress of Fox Theater in Detroit. Motion Picture News, November 4th, 1927. Highlights in the building progress of the magnificent theater which the Fox Company is erecting in Detroit are illustrated in photos on this page. The picture above shows the early stages of excavation work on the site at Woodward Avenue, between Columbia and Montcalm Streets, taken last December. Below is a view of the building taken September 14th, with the auditorium, which will be devoted to motion picture entertainment outlined in the steel skeleton of the lower portion of this huge theater and office building. Photo at top shows the foundation work of the Fox Theater. The picture was taken last June. Above is an artist's sketch of the exterior of the theater and office building. The exterior will be richly colored, the ornamental spandrels being worked out in polychrome, and terracotta is to be molded for the base course, in the ornamental windows, and for the corners and finials in the brick field. The theater is to be completed early in 1928. The magnificent Fox is revealed to Detroit. Exhibitors Herald, September 29, 1928. Detroit's newest theater, the Fox, opened its doors last Friday evening to a capacity crowd of more than 5,000 invited guests. Seating slightly more than 5,000 persons, the Fox is the largest theater in Detroit and the nation's second largest. The architects, C. Howard Crane, and his associates, Elmer George Cuyler and Ben Dorr, designed the building after Hindu styles of architecture. Only one other house resembles it, the Fox Theater in St. Louis. A complete description of the Detroit edifice was presented in the last issue of Better Theaters. William Fox, who was in the city several days supervising the arranging of furnishings, and Mrs. Fox were among the notables from out of town at the formal opening. Others included the entire list of Fox officials from the East Coast. Early in the evening, long before 8:30 p.m., the hour set for the opening, a large crowd commenced milling around the three box offices, and before the inaugural performance was underway, the police were kept busy clearing a passageway for the Woodward Avenue foot traffic. Once inside, the first sight that greeted the guests was the spacious lobby, 6 stories high and a half-block long, containing what is said to be the largest one-piece rug in the world. Also in the lobby is an organ completely separate from the organ in the auditorium. This is used to entertain those waiting for seats. The opening was a gay affair in every respect. The program, carefully rehearsed for a week in advance, was run off without any of the untoward happenings that so often mar an opening presentation. There were no missing drapes or fixtures, the stage curtains did not stick, and the film did not break. The generals and admirals of the ushers bowed extra low and swept through the aisles and foyers with extra military precision. The inaugural was opened with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner by the Fox Orchestra of some 60 pieces. The conductor, Adolf Kornspan, then led his musicians through the thunderous notes of Richard Wagner's Rienzi. Next came Waltz of the Blue Danube Blues, listed on the program as a symphonic jazz arrangement of the classic. Fittingly enough, there was a stage production, The Evolution of Transportation. This was a pageant in 8 scenes, depicting the progress of Detroit from Indian days to the present time. It entailed the use of an old Indian drag, a covered wagon, a high-wheeled bicycle, a passenger train, and finally, a modern motor car. The Fox Ballet of 32 dancing girls, called Tillerettes, and an ensemble of 50 voices took part in these proceedings. Another stage production preceded the feature film, Street Angel. It was entitled Neapolitan Festival, and the entire stage ensemble united in this colorful prologue for the Fox film starring Charles Farrell and Janet Gaynor. Among the shorter subjects were some movie-tone films, chief among them a presentation of George Bernard Shaw. The only hitch in the opening performance came in the talking films, it might be said. The management had arranged for talking pictures to be made of Mayor John C. Lodge, it being decided that for Mayor Lodge to say a few words via the talking pictures rather than in the flesh would be a distinct novelty. Mayor Lodge failed to register well in the films, however, and the idea was scrapped. The entire ceremonies were broadcast by local radio station. A view of the lobby, looking back across the world's largest rug toward the lobby organ. The grills are on each side, above the entrance doors. The grand staircase and approach to the mezzanine floor. Here more than elsewhere in the theater is a lavish display of Hindu ornamentation and effects. No part of the magnificent Fox has been denied elegance. Above is shown an elevator lobby. The cabs themselves are lined with red leather, and they serve all levels of the house to the 6th floor, where boxes are located. Decorative treatment to the extreme right of the proscenium arch. The same type of ornamentation was used for organ grills and side columns. The ornamentation at the balcony, of the columns, and wall behind them. The columns are deep red, while the walls are similarly carved and colored a jade green. Detail of the massive ornamental scheme of the column capitals and their extension, reaching to the ceiling. These carvings, based on Hindu principles of decoration and in colors, are throughout the theater. And to finish this video, here's just a little poem I found while searching for stuff related to the Fox Theater in industry magazines. Exhibitor's Herald, September 1st, 1928. The New Fox. Jade green walls like brocaded silks from the rich Orient, and miniature carved temples in old ivory studded with jewels, grace those green walls, points for the worship of quiet beauty. Huge vermilion red marble columns 4 stories high, and each as big around as a dozen men, sentinel the main temple. My eyes pluck out the rich jewels that circle the huge columns. Royal purple drapes guard entrance to the cool jade green brocaded walls. Royal purple frames the huge stage too, and guarding the cornice, benignly, is Dainichi Nyorai, duplicated like a persistent thought round and round the temple. Silvered is the 8-story dome, and embroidered with bands of gold. Like a rich canopy woven from star things over a Mohammedan garden, it protects the people from thoughts less lovely. And etched on celluloid, breathtaking in their loveliness, masterpieces of camera art unfold poignant beauty and perfect acting, patterns for high human living, parade the silver screen. Dancing delights the senses, and music speaks calm to the soul.